Newsmakers.
City News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. I am Wilma Obuobi-Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Zoe Abube-Eduardo.
Coming up, Minority in Parliament calls for the dismissal of Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa following a case of an alleged theft in her home by her workers, which ran into millions of Ghana cedis.
I expect the president to fire her if indeed it's true that she kept that huge sums of money in her house. The question is, where did she get the money?
Also coming up, Majority announces the rescheduling of the presentation of the mid-year budget review to Thursday, July 27.
The taxes have been so many, and then the rates are also very high. And that's why we are still calling that most of these taxes will be looked into.
Still ahead, state broadcaster Ghana Broadcasting Corporation reveals Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has failed to restore allowances of its staff despite a directive from the National Labour Commission to do so.
Now, we went to Labour Commission. Labour Commission ordered Fair Wages to reverse its actions. Labour Commission, Fair Wages promised to do so. As at this week, we know they haven't done that.
And later, students of the Holy Trinity Cathedral Senior High School here in Accra risk their lives on a daily basis to learn as portions of the school is posing as a death trap. We'll bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is also live on all our affiliates across the country. In the Upper West region, we are live on Tupani Radio 88.5 in Nadoli and Jirapa 96.1 FM. In the Upper East region, we are live on Rekas 92.1 FM in Bongo Namu. In the northern region, we are on North Star Radio 92.1 in Tamale. In Northeast region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigu. In the western region, we are on Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. In the Ashanti region, you're listening to us on Focus 94.3 FM on the KNUST campus and Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Sela Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala and Holy FM 98.5 in Aflao. And in the Savannah region, you're listening to us on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damongo.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. Now, some NDC members of Parliament are calling on President Akufo-Addo to sack the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Abna-Dapa, following an incident where a huge sum of money was stolen from her house. Two house helps of the minister are facing charges before the Accra Circuit Court for allegedly stealing an amount of $1 million, 300,000 euros, and millions of Ghana cedis at her Abilinkpe residence in Accra between July and October last year. Some lawmakers speaking on the matter say it is unlawful for the minister to have kept huge sums of money in her house.
I expect the president to fire her if indeed it's true that she kept that huge sums of money in her house. The question is, where did she get the money? And just as you put it, Vic just expressed an intent, and His Excellency, the former President John Dramani Mahama, hesitated her. Okay? It tells you that he was fighting corruption and he was committed to fight corruption. Today we are told that a minister of state kept that huge sums of money in her house. If indeed the money is legitimate, why would they put it in your house and not in the bank? You know, so she was trying to hide it. And of course, those around there might have also realized that, look, if you steal this money, it will be difficult for her to even make noise about it. And so for me, if it is established that this woman was keeping such huge sums of money, the first thing to do is for the president to sack her, to fire her. That is when we will know and believe that the president can fight corruption.
First of all, the sums of money and the quantum raises eyebrows because we do know how much public officers are paid, ministers.
You had MP for Boli Bamboy Yusuf Sulemana. Meanwhile, co-chair of Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu, believes the incident ought to be investigated.
The sums of money and the quantum raises eyebrows because we do know how much public officers are paid, ministers. We are not expecting millions of dollars and other currencies to just be easily accessible. So that definitely raises eyebrows. There's also the prudence of anybody deciding to keep that kind of money at home. I mean, nobody who is very cautious about security would want to keep that. And why would you when that kind of money could be earning much more elsewhere? So the prudence and why anyone would want to do that raises eyebrows. Now, the third issue that it highlights for me, recently on the 11th of July, we celebrated 20 years of the AU Convention on the Prevention and Combating of Corruption. One of the articles, and Ghana is one of the signatories to this convention, covers illicit financial enrichment. And it's a part of the convention that, as far as I'm aware, Ghana has not yet codified. In other words, we've not done a corresponding legislation to cover that space, which is the intention. The intention is that once you ratify it, then you're going to say you pick the various articles within the convention and cover it within your jurisdiction. I think that to date, we've not covered the illicit financial enrichment, which then would cover issues like lifestyle audits, where when something like this comes up, there's a suspicion that the sources of income cannot justify the sums of money being spoken about, then it triggers a lifestyle audit to check how did you get this amount of money. So in my view, this absolutely deserves discussion.
That was the co-chair of Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Eden Senanu.
Now to Parliament, where the mid-year budget expected to be presented by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, on Tuesday, July 25, has once again been rescheduled. The new date is Thursday, July 27, 2023. The presentation of the mid-year budget was initially scheduled for July 17, but was postponed to July 25. The second Deputy Majority Whip, Habib Idrisu, in presenting the business statement for the ensuing week, announced that the mid-year budget review presentation by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has been rescheduled.
Speaker, your committee also took into account that a formal communication from the Finance Ministry that the mid-year budget review will be presented on the 27th of July, that's Thursday, 27th of July, 2023, instead of the Tuesday, 25th of July, as announced by the Business Committee. Speaker, members may comment on the mid-year budget review, even though we are not expecting any supplementary estimate from the mid-year budget review. Chairmen and ranking members of the Finance Committee will be given ample time to comment on the mid-year budget review. All other honorable members will be given an opportunity to also contribute to the mid-year budget review. Mr. Speaker, bills and other referrals at committee may be done, and we urge the committees to give particular attention to some bills that have not been looked at. That is the Green Development Authority Bill 2022.
Second Deputy Majority Whip, Habib Idrisu. The first Deputy Minority Whip, Ahmed Ibrahim, expressed worry that the rescheduled date is in contrast with the directive of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, that the mid-year budget review be presented on July 25.
Ordinarily, Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't have made this comment, but yesterday I raised it at the Business Committee because the Parliament of Ghana, together with the Church of Pentecost, are holding a development conference. The date 27th was chosen by the Right Honourable Speaker, and upon that, the former presidents and the current president, and members of Parliament are all invited, and they are all going to go together with the Speaker. So when the Speaker gave the date, that date 27 had been used in making all the adverts. And beyond that, Mr. Speaker, the House, when they were mentioning 27th, the tentative idea was that the House was to go on recess on the 9th of August. And the Speaker said 9th of August may be too late for the House to go on adjournment, because the House is expected to adjourn on the 3rd of August. And due to that, if the budget media review is presented on the 27th, it will be too close to the 3rd of August. So combining these two issues, the joint conference of the Parliament of Ghana and the Church of Pentecost, and the closeness of the date of adjournment, which is 3rd August, the Speaker entreated on the House and the Business Committee to present the media review on 25th.
That was the First Deputy Minority Whip, Ahmed Ibrahim.
Now, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has refused to reinstate the allowances of GBC staff, despite an order from the National Labour Commission to do so. This was revealed by the Director General of GBC at a Public Accounts Committee today when the state broadcaster appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. The issue of the allowances arose in June 2023 when GBC staff protested against the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission's directive to withdraw some allowances. Following engagements with the concerned parties, the National Labour Commission instructed the Fair Wages to restore the allowances, but they have failed to comply with the order. Here is the Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, at the Public Accounts Committee sitting.
When we gave the staff the deadline to voluntarily pay and the deadline passed, we were going to take an action to write to controller to deduct these monies from their salary. The reason why we haven't yet done that is that a couple of months back, Fair Wages disrupted the industrial peace and harmony at GBC by a unilateral action, which by the labor law, they were required to have engaged the unions. They did not. Now, we went to Labour Commission. Labour Commission ordered Fair Wages to reverse its actions. Labour Commission, Fair Wages promised to do so. As at this week, we know they haven't done that. We are saying that when that reversal is done and staff get their normal salaries, it is a time that we will also then go into the salaries and deduct this money. The money is quite small, but in this environment where some staff lost up to 1/3 of their salaries, we don't think it's the time to do it.
Okay.
In the interest of industrial harmony.
All right, so
You had the Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Professor Amin Al-Hassan. Also at the same Public Accounts Committee sitting, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah reiterated government's commitment to reforming the various state media organizations, including GBC, to ensure competitiveness.
Now, the Ghana Railway Development Authority is expressing concern over the persistent issue of encroachment on railway lines and theft of rail tracks in various regions of the country. Despite the government's efforts to revitalize the rail sector, these unlawful activities continue to impede the progress made so far. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Yao Owusu, is therefore seeking public support to address this problem effectively.
The railway industry has been defunct for a long time. It has been left idle. And people thought railway was never coming back. So therefore, they took undue advantage to build within the corridors or the right of way. All right. So for example, the railway line coming from Accra to Kumasi, because of the heavy encroachment at Alaba and Abuabo, chances are we may have to take what they call the branch line, okay, or what they call realignment. So the train will be coming from Accra. It may end up in Ejuso. And then we have to do new acquisition from Ejusu to Edwardin. Edwardin is also on the western line. So that will be the new focal point because of the heavy encroachment. Otherwise, you may have to destroy thousands and thousands of structures from Doom Station to Alaba, to Abuabo, to Tech, to go to Afienya. Right? After you move the people away and you constructed a new line, people have started going back to build around the line. Galamsey activities it's on the western line, Manso Dunkwa area because of the mining. Right? That is affecting the quality of the construction of the railway lines. There has been a spate of theft in the country, unfortunately, right, of the existing line for scrapping. And at the moment, we are working with the security agencies to see how we can arrest the situation to prevent people from stealing those rails. The old lines mainly, but as I mentioned before, even the newly constructed one, Tamampakada and even in Takrady, people have started to steal some of the fish plate and some of the materials on the new lines as well. And again, we need everybody's cooperation. We are all citizens. Okay, we don't want everyone to be a spectator. We want to all to be participants to help us to arrest. If you see anybody who has encroached or is engaged in any kind of theft, it's also your responsibility to report to the police.
The authority, under the auspices of the Ministry of Railway Development, has revised the existing Ghana Railway Master Plan, which seeks to create an efficient railway network linking all regional capitals. Yao Owusu, speaking at a stakeholder sensitization in Kumasi, explains the difficulty in getting investors to help develop the sector.
There has been several investors who have come around, as I was trying to explain to you. The BOT concept is the best, build, operate, and transfer. But because of the high cost of constructing these lines, and because the investors don't have the patience to wait for 50 years, the only way you can recapture your investment on these lines, unless you have a government subsidy, whereby the government is willing to pick up any revenue gaps. Okay, and I gave an example, bus transport from Kumasi to Accra is about 200 cedis. VIP, roughly, right? Now, to be able to justify an investment Accra to Nsawam will require about 500 cedis. The trains have to charge 500 cedis, which is very, very expensive. So the gap between the VIP cost versus the train cost, the government has to be willing to subsidize. And at the moment, the government doesn't have what they call sovereign guarantee. The investors want the government to give them an assurance that if there's any revenue gap, they will pay them the difference. The government that doesn't have that luxury because of our financial constraint and our physical and budgetary imbalance between expenditure and our revenues that we collect.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Yao Owusu.
The Upper East Regional Manager of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, says the authority is committed to working closely with security agencies in the region to crack down on illegal fuel retailers and fuel smuggling. The NPA is concerned that such unauthorized activities have the potential to supply customers with contaminated petroleum products, posing risks to both vehicles and consumers. In an interview with Citi News, Bashiru Natongwa stated that they will be relentless in addressing the issue of fuel smuggling.
We were able to work hard to stop the smuggling of petroleum products into the country and then out of the country. Yes. Sometimes people bring in the product and then take it to the consumers, and sometimes the consumers are not even aware that the product they are giving them is a bad product. Some also bring the product, instead of going to their filling stations, they will just discharge a small quantity to their facilities and take the rest across the borders of the country and sell to the other neighboring countries. So our collaboration with the security agencies, together with our own stringent measures put in place in town, has really helped us to combat this menace.
Bashiru Natongwa is the Upper East Regional Manager of the National Petroleum Authority. You're listening to the Citi Prime News, broadcasting live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, the National Buffer Stock Company has dispelled claims that it has diverted funds meant for paying food suppliers. We'll bring you details of this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Are you ready to groove to the captivating rhythms of highlife music? Then get ready for an unforgettable experience on the Voice Factory Season 5 stage. Join us as we celebrate the rich cultural heritage of West Africa with the soulful sounds of highlife music. Known for its infectious melodies, intricate guitar work, and vibrant horn sections, highlife music has been the heartbeat of the region for decades. On the Voice Factory Season 5 this weekend, we will bring you the best of the best in highlife music, showcasing both established legends and rising stars. From the timeless classics of E.T. Mensah, George Darko, Akosua Japan, Papobo, and the likes, our contestants will transport you to a world of pure musical bliss. So, get ready to tap your feet, sway to the beat, and immerse yourself in the enchanting world of highlife music. Tune in to the Voice Factory Season 5 on Saturday, 22nd of July 2023 at 6:30 p.m. So follow the prompts to vote for your favorite contestant via the short code *920*973#. You can also visit citytvonline.com/Voice Factory to vote. The Voice Factory Season 5 is brought to you by Ebony Condoms, refreshed by Eddie's Pizza, official voting partner Nilo Solutions, refreshed by McBerry Twist Cupcakes, and sponsored by Coupon Hospitality. The Voice Factory is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM, Alisa Hotels, Linash Beauty Parlor, and stitched by Wenya.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, the National Food Buffer Stock Company has dispelled claims that it has diverted funds meant for paying food suppliers. The disgruntled food suppliers, during their picketing some weeks ago, alleged that the Buffer Stock Company had diverted money from the Education Ministry to defray their loans. The agitations have forced the company to begin payments of the debts owed the suppliers. Reacting to the allegations, the CEO for Buffer Stock, Hanan Abdul Wahab, said the claims are untrue as the company is committed to paying all debts owed its creditors.
Between 2021, 2022, 2023, the entire free senior high school feeding budget is far more than even 418 million. So clearly it is not the right figure, and we haven't taken every single money taken from Ministry of Education is used to pay suppliers. And if we had received that money as the press release sought to portray to the general public, then why is government releasing money now for us to pay suppliers? So it is not true. Even though I know, some of these things, there are, politics in it, but we are very focused in making sure that we would make lives very comfortable for our suppliers.
Hanan Abdul Wahab is the Chief Executive Officer for the National Food Buffer Stock Company.
Power has been restored to the Aflao Community Senior High School after the transformer, which supplies power to the school, was stolen. The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, responded promptly to complaints from school authorities, successfully restoring power on Wednesday afternoon. The headmaster, Shadrach Abio, had expressed concern over the incident's impact on academic activities. He urged the community to refrain from such acts, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a safe and supportive learning environment.
The transformer of the Aflao Senior High Technical School was removed by people we don't know, dismantled and taken away. But fortunately, the Ghana Electricity Company of Ghana managed to get one, and they brought it to the school. They fixed it. That's on Wednesday, and now the school has a power. Everything is moving on well. In fact, we are not happy about the way the thing went. The people in the community, especially those that came to remove these things, our advice is that if people can stop taking things from the school, especially electrical cables in the transformer, we'll be very glad, because it is putting the school into problem. Students are suffering because there's no light in the classroom. They can't go to the library. They can't go to the science lab. It is very, very bad. So we are happy that ECG has actually brought the transformer and fixed it.
Shadrach Abiel is the headmaster of the Aplao Community Senior High School in the Volta region.
Now, the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong Kodia, says all 10 candidates of the presidential primaries have accepted the National Council's decision not to centralize the Special Delegates Conference. 9 of the 10 candidates jointly petitioned the party, requesting that the election be held at a central location to avoid potential voter intimidation that could arise from a decentralized poll. However, after extensive discussions, the National Council dismissed the petition. In an interview with Citi News, Justin Frimpong Kodia stated that the decision was made through consultation and has been acknowledged and accepted by all candidates involved.
From yesterday deliberations and even after yesterday meeting, you could see the clear manifestation of unity among even the petitioners who brought their petition, and even those who are even against the petition. And it tells me one thing, that as a political party, we do understand the tenets of democracy, whereby each one is given opportunity to make his or her case, and afterwards is deliberated upon and a decision reached. And everyone who was there accepted the decision of National Council. So it was a very successful meeting, and I know going forward, we all work together in unison to ensure that the Breaking 8 becomes a reality.
Meanwhile, the General Secretary has appealed to the petitioners to trust in the electoral process. He assured them that the Elections Committee, under the leadership of Professor Michael Quay, will ensure that the upcoming Special Delegates Conference is conducted in a transparent and impartial manner.
The party, through National Council, approved of an Elections Committee, which is chaired by our revered Professor Michael Quay, Honorable Sisida Abinadapa, and the rest, to make sure that any concerns that will be raised are addressed, and also to make sure there's a proper coordination between the party and the relevant state institution that will play a role in the Special Delegate College, to make sure that everything that has to be put on the table to ensure a successful elections are done. And I can confidently say that with the team and the committee that we have in place, we would definitely have a credible election. And the fears from some quarters, some aspirants and their supporters is something that they should not worry about, because at the end of the day, the party is now interested to make sure that we have a credible election, so that it will become easy for us to do reconciliation and prepare for the battle ahead in 2024.
Justin Frimpong Kodia is the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party.
We'll still stay with this story. The campaign team of Alan Tremating says they are disappointed with the decision but accept same. In an interview with Citi News, spokesperson for the campaign, Yabuabing Asamoah, urged the election committee to address all their concerns before the election.
We are disappointed but accepting of the decision, because it's come from the highest level of the political party, of which we are part and which we serve and which we seek to lead. And therefore, once the leadership, that second highest decision-making body in the party, decides that this is what they want to do, I think we have no option but to accept that is what will be done. You take a decision, and the next level is implementation of the decision. our hope, our belief, our expectation is that implementation will be in a way that will resolve any issues to do with credibility of the process, because we believe that, above all, credibility will enhance the party's stature in the public mind, so that whoever is finally selected as flag bearer will benefit from that enhancement. So it's up to how the party implements the decision.
Boabe Asamoah is the spokesperson for the campaign team of Alan Trematin. The campaign team for Dr. Owusu Akoto also wants the party to make room for further deliberation on whether to hold a centralized special delegates conference or not. Dr. Prince Amuzu Sokode is spokesperson for the campaign team of the former agriculture minister.
If it were possible, doing it in one location will keep us tight, so that after such an internal exercise, we don't have too many factions and too many problems to resolve thereafter. Definitely, this is a democratic party, and the conversation is ongoing. We'll continue to have the conversation, hope that we were able to make some decisions that will make everybody comfortable in this particular contest. No, the arguments have been made, and as I will keep saying, it should have been appropriate and easy for everybody if you can all mobilize into one location, have this done and walk away, than having too many locations. You understand the logistics wise and the financial implication of such an arrangement. So this is a party, this is a democracy. Decisions are made, they are reviewed. We hope that the conversation will continue and we'll be able to make a headway.
Dr. Prince Amuzu Sokode is spokesperson for the campaign team of Dr. Owusu Akoto.
We'll move to some crime-related stories because the Ghana Police Service is on a manhunt for a group of people who attacked and shot into a Kumasi-Boko-bound bus at Waliwali in the northeast region. The attack, according to Citi News sources, has led to the death of a passenger and the burning of the VIP bus in front of the Waliwali police station. In a statement issued by the police service, it said there is an ongoing operation to get the perpetrators arrested. However, Citi News can confirm that there is heavy security deployment in the area to ensure calm is restored.
Now, the public relations officer of the Apiate Disaster Relief Committee, Thaiwill Kwashi, has expressed contentment with the progress made in the redevelopment of the Apiate community devastated by explosives in January last year, following an inspection of the construction of 124 households, which commenced in August 2022. The PRO stated that significant advancements have been made in the project, although there have been some delays that may affect the initial projected completion date of July this year. Mr. Kwashi says that most of the structures have reached the plastering stage and will soon be followed by installing electrical wiring and painting.
It is positive news right here at the reconstruction site. The road construction, almost all the drainages are through. Some filling has been done. Very soon we'll see completion to the road as well. But most of the construction works are now at the finishing stage. Some are plastering the edges and others are doing floors. I think what is left with the electrical works for work to complete. You know our area and the pattern of rainfall. As we speak, any moment from now, it can be raining. And rains and construction works, rather, if there is anything that is inconveniencing, it is rain during construction. So, per the works you've seen so far and what has been going on, it tells you that had it not been the continuous rains, like the intermittent rain pattern, probably work would have been far advanced more than this. But myself, seeing this, I'm okay with speed of work. Only that probably maybe we are behind time as scheduled. But there are so many things that goes into construction. It might not be only the rain. Probably when you get the consultants and the engineers, they will tell you more. So we appreciate government, we appreciate individuals and organizations who put in everything to make sure that reconstruction of Apiate community becomes a reality, and ask for more donations into the reconstruction of the community, because the work done so far is very encouraging, and I promise you, from what I see and all things being equal, Apiati will be one of the best.
That was the Public Relations Officer of the Apiati Disaster Relief Committee, Thaiwell Kwashi.
Now to one of our headline stories. Students of the Holy Trinity Cathedral Senior High School in Accra risk their lives daily to learn, as portions of the school is posing as a death trap. Citi News' Akosia Otri and Chris Asima visited the school to observe the situation and have come through with this report.
Popularly known as Hot Cars, Holy Trinity Senior High School, situated in Accra Central on the Atta Mills High Street in Greater Accra region, was established in October 1969 as a private day school. It was later absorbed into the public education system in September 1974, becoming a fully fledged government-assisted senior high school. Despite its 54-year existence, the school buildings have not undergone any significant renovations and have now fallen into disrepair, with tattered roofs turning classrooms into potential hazards. Some students of the school who spoke to Citi News said the state of the school's roofs is alarming.
Sometimes you come to school because of the rain, you have to share class with the Form 1s and then Form 2. So sometimes teachers don't come to class to teach, though we are in our final year. Sometimes they'll be like, they want to teach us and then the students are there, so there won't be any learning there. So that means the whole day there won't be any learning, because you can't say they should also go out, because there's no place that they are going to sit. And when it's rain, all the classrooms becomes wet, like there's water everywhere. So they will have to come and join other classes, and then when the rain stops, we'll just fetch water out and clean the classroom before we start with everything all together again. We are hoping there will be help somewhere. That's all we are hoping.
I think it's bad because it sometimes disrupts our learning. We sometimes have to put a pause to whatever we are doing at the moment and try to look for a shelter first. So I think it's really bad. That's with the structure.
Samasiedu Bempong, a teacher in the visual arts department and an old student of the school, told Citi News it saddens him to see the state of the school. He says the fear of the building collapse is ever present among staff. An urgent intervention is needed.
There have been times when teachers have to run out when the wind comes very strong, because you could hear the roofing sheets running up and down, and it's scary, very scary at times. Even the students have to run down and all that. So it's high time the authorities look towards our direction and fix the problem for us.
Headmaster of Hot Cars, Godfrey Asian, says the school has reached a critical point where its poor state has discouraged teachers from accepting postings there. He called on the Ghana Education Service to urgently come to their aid.
Yes, it affects us because you can't put students there again when you know they have a problem there. So it will affect us in terms of the classrooms to use for the children to have their class.
Limited.
Yeah, we are limited. Exactly. It's a little bit with the Ghana Education Service. We have written to them and then had sent them reports in our yearly reports, listen to them for upgrading of the structure.
And what has been the response?
It's the normal, we would come and then work on it.
The report was filed by my colleagues Akosia Otri and Chris Azima. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, residents of Wa East District, they are calling for the rehabilitation of roads in that area, which is hindering the delivery of essential healthcare services. We'll bring you details of that story and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
The system has nothing on her. Those in power fear what she can do. She is Madame, and she is here. On one hand, she's a humanitarian, and on the other, she's using them to seduce men in power for favors. Madame is a new drama series that explores the evils of an uncontrolled system where young women are exploited. Showing Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and GoTV channel 102. Stay connected on star 759 hash.
Happy birthday to you. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
1xBet jackpot is here with weekly massive prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is place your bets on any sports game and stand a chance to win. Simply register at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code JackpotGhana and place your bets. 1xBet is your key to great victories. Feel like a winner. 1xBet. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, the poor conditions of roads in the Wa East district of the Upper West region is hindering the delivery of essential health care services in the area. The district director of health services says during the rainy season, over 30 communities in the district become inaccessible, making it challenging for health officials to provide necessary health care assistance to the residents. As a result, the director is urgently appealing for an intervention from the government to prevent avoidable deaths in the district. Citi News' Latif Mahama reports in the following.
Ghana's healthcare policy, influenced by the directive principles of state policy outlined in the 1992 Constitution, emphasizes the state's responsibility to ensure equitable access to quality health care for all citizens, regardless of their ethnicity, race, or geographical location. However, in the Wa East district, it seems that certain residents, particularly those in marginalized farming communities, are being denied of this fundamental right due to inadequate road infrastructure connecting them to healthcare facilities, especially during the rainy season. The situation is particularly dire in the southwestern part of the district, where more than 30 farming communities are consistently isolated during the rainy season due to the deplorable state of roads in the area. For instance, the Logo-Kaglaki Road, which serves approximately 12 farming communities in the Logo-Sap Center, presents significant challenges. The over 8,000 inhabitants of these communities, including Binteng, Sago, and Kaglaki, are forced to resort to unconventional healthcare methods during the rainy season. Portions of the road are frequently flooded, preventing them from reaching Logo to access proper medical treatment. Furthermore, healthcare providers are unable to reach these communities to deliver essential services. The Logo-Kulpan Road, connecting numerous farming communities to the Kulpan Health Center, faces a similar predicament. The assembly member for the Binteng electoral area expresses concerns about pregnant women in the area, risking their lives by attempting to cross the water in order to access health care. Tragically, some lose their lives in the process.
The electoral area comprises of 3 communities, where you have Binteng, Sago, and then Kala. When we talk of challenges facing these 3 communities, we talk of road network, which none of this community is linked to a road network. We have a road linking from Kalan to Logo, which is not constructed. It's only the bridges that are constructed, but they are not filled. We have a road linking from Logo to Binteng, That one too is not constructed. It's just the bridge that they constructed. So we are pleading with the government that if they can come to aid and then construct this road for us, which can help our people to send their farm product to the nearest community for something to help themselves. In fact, the people are struggling. If somebody falls sick here, as you can see the river there, when the river is full, nobody can cross. Sometimes people die away through this road because of the water. Sometimes, and that there was a year which water carried about 2 people from that big river you have seen there. So we are pleading with everybody if they can help us to solve some of these challenges for our people. Maternal health situation in this area is very terrible. Like if a woman is pregnant and he's seeking health care, let's say the woman from Calais want to move to Logo for health care, it will be very difficult, especially the rainy season. If the river is full, nobody can cross. There was a year a woman nearly died inside a big river. The woman was going to Logo for health care.
Following the inauguration of a state-of-the-art chips compound at the Kalahi community, the District Director of Health Services in the Wa East appeals to the government to improve road infrastructure in the area. This improvement is critical to enhance the delivery of quality healthcare services.
If you look at the nature of the road leading to this facility, it is not the best. When it rains, that is during the rainy season, you can be certain that the community will cut off, the facility will also be cut off. And so all these prompted the need for us to establish and demarcate this zone as a chip zone for the establishment of this compound. And so it wasn't out of fluke that we decided to site this chips compound within Kalahi to serve the people of Kalahi.
The inhabitants of these communities beseech the government to provide them with access to potable drinking water. Currently, they face the unfortunate reality of competing with animals for drinking water from a river that is far away from their communities. The head teacher of the Kalahi Basic School reports that the lack of connection to the national power grid poses challenges for teaching information and communication technology subjects in the area.
For subjects like ICT and all other gadgets that we're supposed to be using cannot be used here because of lack of electricity. So it's another challenge. In fact, it's another challenge.
Inhabitants of the Bintenge electoral area here in the Wa East district of the Upper West region are worried over their neglect by successive governments. They are thus appealing to the current administration to provide them with water and electricity, as well as fix their roads. Reporting for City News, my name is Latif Mahama. Karalare.
We move to the Ashanti region now, where residents of Bonre in the Ejiso municipality are expressing dissatisfaction with the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, for disconnecting power in the area for the past 2 days due to a misunderstanding over electricity bills. In recent months, the residents say they have been burdened with exorbitant electricity bills that do not align with their actual power consumption. They have therefore reached a collective decision to withhold payment of their bills until the billing challenges are properly addressed. The disconnection of power has had severe consequences for the community, as vital establishments such as the local hospital, senior high school, and various shops have been adversely affected. Speaking to City News, an opinion leader, Robert Kujo, called on authorities to urgently intervene.
Every month, we do pay our bills. When we fail to pay, then they come and disconnect for those who are not paying. But for all we know, last month, they brought a bill in which no one can understand that bill that they brought. It's very huge. Let's assume I'm paying 150 cedis a month. All of a sudden, they brought 1,500. How can I pay such a huge bill
for a month?
For a month. Some are paying 5,000 for a month, even 8,000 and above. That has become our problem, and we can't understand this. So we invited them to come here for us to sit down, and then they should give us an explanation or the reason why we are supposed to pay that huge bill. And then they came here. That was 3 days ago. They came, but before then, last Tuesday, they brought their van here, and they was making an announcement that they are going to disconnect those who are not paying their bills, whatever, as they used to announce. Well, we were hoping that they will come and sit, or they will come and settle their problem with us. But for all we know, they came here in numbers, but they couldn't understand our view.
Robert Kujo is an opinion leader in the Bonre community. In an attempt to address the matter, the municipal chief executive for Ejiso, Samuel Odro-Frimpong, says his outfit has engaged ECG and relevant stakeholders on strategies to adapt to resolve the matter.
The complaint of the residents is that they are, they don't have prepaid meters. They've given them, I think, post-paid meters. Understand what they are giving them now, the estimated bills. And their complaint is that anytime the bills are brought and they go to the say what they tell them is that once the bill has come, you go and pay. But when I met them today, the area manager said, even though he's not been there as a Vijay, but he's not sure any of the staff can see that. But at least 3 of the town folks mentioned that. So when they decided to go to the houses to go and collect the bills, the youth rushed on them and then said that they were not going to allow them to collect any bill from the town because the bills are too huge. So they were shouting for the fact that bring us meters before we pay the bills. So I invited the UCG, but all the area managers in Kumasi, they were here. The Fijay manager was here. The area manager, the accountant, a host of ECGs have about 20. Then Ananum came.
Samuel Odro-Frimpong is the municipal chief executive for Ejiso in the Ashanti region.
The minority in parliament says comments made by the former Northern Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bugri Nabu, justifies the group's call for an investigation into the leaked tape regarding an alleged plot to remove the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare. Bugri Nabu, in an interview with Kumasi-based Oyerpa FM, confirmed that his personal aide and receptionist were picked up by the National Intelligence Bureau NIB for questioning over the leaked audio. Speaking to the media, the Deputy Minority Leader, Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, says the parliamentary probe into the matter must continue.
That tape was so alarming and concerning that we raised the issue on the floor of Parliament. In fact, I raised the issue on the floor of Parliament, and the Speaker, having evaluated the statement that was issued, directed that a 7-member committee was to set up. Now, following from that, yesterday, we listened to an interview, and that interview, if anybody had any doubt in the authenticity of that leak tape, yesterday in that interview, our senior Bugri Nabu basically cleared that doubt and basically confirmed that indeed that meeting took place and that leak tape was authentic. Now, it's very, very clear. We also heard that 2 of his secretaries, as the interview told us, were picked up by the NIB. I think it's important that we revisit this matter this morning. 1, we call on this parliament to basically continue that investigation, independent investigation. And so the Speaker had directed that we nominate members. We have already done that. We believe that that committee must begin work as quickly as possible. It is also important that we know exactly what the police service is doing. We also must know what the Interior Ministry is doing.
You had the Deputy Minority.
Social networks and shape the future of the internet. Threads is positioning itself as a strong contender in the ever-evolving social media landscape. Speculation about the emergence of threats has led some experts to attribute its rise to the various restrictions imposed on Twitter by its owner, Elon Musk. One of these controversial restrictions was the introduction of a fee for the Twitter verification badge, a move that drew substantial criticism. Users who wished to retain their verification identity had to pay $8, raising concerns about accessibility and fairness. Furthermore, Twitter's decision to impose a reading cap on users, limiting unverified accounts to 600 posts per day, while verified accounts could read 6,000 posts within 24 hours, only fueled the controversy. These measures received mixed reactions from the social media community. Marketing, communication and technology consultant Stephen Nase-Bwedi is optimistic about Thread's potential to improve and eventually dominate the social media space.
Twitter Spaces, which is very good for having conversations about your brand. Okay, so these are two challenges that it's because it doesn't have these. It's a bit too early to assess it in terms of its impact on businesses. Okay, so in terms of numbers, reach, it will quickly overtake Twitter. I can predict that because it's part of the Meta group. And it's very easy to create an account from your Instagram. So it will give huge numbers quickly. There's excitement also about it because it's new. Plus, it has some features that Twitter, for example, doesn't have yet. So that's all great. But to be able to compete with Twitter or any other platform effectively for businesses, it has to add some features. Like I said, it has to start offering the feature that allows people to advertise. That way, then you can specify, for example, I want only moms in, let's say, Accra to see my ad.
With the growing dissatisfaction towards Twitter's restrictions, many users may seek alternative platforms that offer a more open and inclusive experience. On the other hand, technology analyst Maximus Ametogo holds a different viewpoint, perhaps raising concerns about Thread's ability to compete with an established giant like Twitter.
Knowing who Elon Musk is and then the changes he has affected at Twitter and what industry people expect him to do or anticipate that he will do, this particular app is not a threat to him, really, because Threads trying to copy Twitter and then porting people from the Instagram platform to the platform, right, to the Threads platforms, and then taking pride in the fact that they've been able to acquire 30 million people, for me, is not an achievement, right? And the unique features of a Thread is not unique for it to drive a lot more people to that particular place. It's just an extension of Instagram. Just the way you have Facebook Messenger, it was a chat messenger, and then they separated it from Facebook itself as a standalone platform. Threads is almost like, okay, the text version of Instagram, so let's move it there, and then it becomes an app. For me, that's how I see it, and it's not a threat to Twitter.
As Threads continues to garner attention, social media users have been actively reacting to the developments surrounding the platform.
A few days ago, there were issues about Mark Zuckerberg allegedly fighting or entering into a ring match with Elon Musk. We all expected it to be something physical, but apparently they were talking about communication technologies and software. So.
Citi News' Victoria Bonto filed that report, read by Kweku Idiama and Son.
And that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I'm Roma Ubobisa Coleman, and I did this with
Zoe Abubeiduado.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Many thanks for doing the listening, and do have a good day.